Hello lovelies, it's me the Melanated Oracle, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have something a little bit different. Today I want to talk about how to stop being a victim to life circumstances, how to really take control of your life, how to stop feeling powerless, how to stop feeling hopeless regardless of what's happening on the outside, as well as how to eliminate the victim mentality and the feelings associated with it. It's my personal opinion that if you really want to grow as a person and spiritually, really taking control over not only your life but your mind is imperative for your spiritual growth. So first, I want to start off with a very important question. How are we not victims to life? How do we have the power to control our life and how it flows? To me, the answer is very simple. I believe that we all came from one source, and what source means to you is your definition. It could be God, it could be the universe, it could be a variety of things. But I believe because we came from that source, part of that source still resides in us. And the gift that we were all blessed with from the day we were born is the power of creation. People call it manifestation, people call it law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. It is truly the power of creation and creating things within your life that you desire. If you don't believe me, take a look at children. Just observe them. They will literally create an entire new world in their own head. And if you give them the right tools, they will quite literally show you that world and bring it into fruition, into our physical reality. This is the thing, we all have that ability. We all have the ability to imagine the life that we want, to imagine a brand new world, and use the tools at our disposal to bring it into fruition. It just diminishes over time due to societal constructs and responsibilities, and we simply lose touch with it. However, it can be restored, but that's for another video. So there's something I want to talk about first. How exactly do we kind of fall into the victim mentality? How is it that, we really spiral and feel like we don't have any control over our lives? So one of the first reasons is, being quite honest, life can get hard because we don't have control over everything, and I'll explain. This is the thing. We are humans. We are social creatures, and we like to be around one another, especially those that we love. But we cannot always control A, what someone does to us, and B, what happens to someone else. And if you are an empathetic person, if you feel for the people that are in your life, what they do and sometimes what happens to them will in turn affect you emotionally. And then when it comes to things that are traumatic and loss of a loved one, it can really make you feel powerless. And honestly, when it comes to things like that, that's when I think therapy is the best option. It's really better to have someone there that can hear everything and help you work through all of the feelings associated with that, because those are very hard things to experience. So when I say we don't have control over everything, I am referring to other people's lives. And the second reason we may fall into this mindset / mentality is because at times we want to avoid responsibility, especially if we are not in the best place. We've all been there. We've all been with that one person or kept people in our lives way longer than we should have. We've all stayed at that one job that we hated because we felt like there was nothing else in the world. And we've all done things for other people when all we really wanted to do was say no. Not judging anyone, I'm literally calling myself out on things I've done in the past. A lot of times we like to avoid really taking the responsibility of being in certain situations, circumstances, or in certain relationships, because that means that, we are the ones who kind of got ourselves in the circumstances. We didn't create, toxic work environments or toxic relationships, but we did choose to stay, and that is taking responsibility. Sometimes we don't want to take responsibility because underneath avoiding responsibility is usually some type of shadow work or core belief that we really need to work on and deconstruct. Say for instance that you are, I don't want to say a doormat, but you are a people pleaser. You say yes to everything and everyone, even though it's the last thing you want to do. You may not realize it, but this may be because A, that was the way you were raised. You were raised to please people's expectations. Or maybe you were even around someone where they constantly made you feel guilty for saying no, and in turn you internalize that. You internalize, putting someone else's emotions over yours and over what you desired, because that person made you feel so guilty, and now you can't help but feel guilty if you want to say no to someone, even if you're not even close to them. Usually when we avoid responsibility, it's because it's something really deep in our core that we're trying to avoid, because we know once we confront it, you can't go back. You can't just shut it back down there anymore. I mean, you can, but it's not going to help you. And then it takes a lot of work to deconstruct that core belief. That can be hard, that can be tough, especially if you've never done it before. So that's another reason why we can sometimes fall into this trap of we have no control over our lives, and that we are just a victim to life circumstances. And so the last thing I want to bring up, and this may rub people the wrong way, and I don't think it's for a majority of people, but I think some people do like the sympathy and validation they get from when they are feeling like a victim from life. When you are getting those warm hugs and all that sympathy, all that empathy, some people thrive off of it. And I really don't think this is a majority of people, but I have seen few in my lifetime. Maybe because that person may not get that a lot in their personal life, that validation of their emotions, that sympathy, that empathy on a consistent basis, and they may not get it with those that are really close to them. And so sometimes, yes, they do seek it from people maybe outside of their circle, and people who really don't know everything behind the scenes of why certain things are the way they are. And I'm not saying everyone deserves everything that happens to them, but it's going back to how we can create these circumstances in our life, again, not related to trauma or grief, but other things, the toxic relationships, the toxic work environments, and things of that nature. So now I want to talk about, how do we break out of this mentality? How do we make conscious choices and decisions to feel like we have the power to control how our life flows? So the very first thing, and this is probably the most important, if you don't want to listen to anything else, hear me out on this. Right here and right now, or after you're done watching this video, go ahead and take responsibility for where you are in life right here and right now. Whether it be amazing, whether it be so-so, whether it be not the best, not so hot. Own it. Accept that where you are now is due to the choices in life that you've made so far. And if you're thinking that, you may have had a rough time growing up and things of that nature, and things are rough, while we are a product of our environment, when you reach a certain point in your life, you are no longer a product of your environment. You are simply choosing to stay a certain way. And I'm going to keep it real with you right there. But if you do decide to own up to who you are right now due to the choices that you have decided to make, not things that happen to you, not choices that people have done for you, but the choices that you have made within your own life, you're already off to an amazing start. So my second recommendation would be to start a gratitude journal. This may seem a bit odd, but by really counting your blessings and acknowledging everything that you're grateful for, it's going to help shift your outlook on life. So if you're feeling like life is hard, when you start counting all of your blessings, when you start really examining everything that you have in your life and how abundant you really are, you're going to start thinking about life differently. And when you're able to change the way you think, you start looking at life differently. Your outlook on life changes, and as a result, you in turn change. The more grateful you become, the harder it is to feel like you are a victim to life, because you will start to see how beautiful your life really is. Number 3 will be to watch your company. Honestly, I could probably make an entire video about this, but to keep it short, just watch your company. If you're around somebody who doesn't like where they're at in life, but they don't want life to get any better, and they don't want any help for life to get better, it's going to be hard for your outlook to change and for you to keep the mindset that you want going forward. Recommendation will be meditation / mindfulness. when it comes to meditation / mindfulness, one of the things I notice is that by practicing on a consistent basis, it helps you really come back to the present moment even when you're not actively doing it. So when you're able to stay rooted in the present moment and you learn how to detach from emotions or situations that don't serve your highest good, that's when you can start controlling how you react to certain people, certain things. And when you can control how you react to certain things, you're controlling your actions. And we talked about it earlier, how sometimes our actions can create our circumstances. So say for instance, if you are having a bad day at work, somebody does something, and usually that little something will push you over the edge. If you're consistently practicing meditation and mindfulness, you'll be able to take a step back, breathe, observe that emotion, accept it, acknowledge it, and then move past it and continue with your day. Whether as before, you may have had a meltdown saying, why do bad things always happen to me, or why can my day never go bad? You'll see an immediate improvement, I want to say maybe 1 to 2 weeks in, and I noticed that in my own personal life. Fourth recommendation would be just take it day by day. Be gentle with yourself. Know that you're going to have some slip-ups. Know that this isn't going to be an overnight change of suddenly life just seems so beautiful and your circumstances aren't bothering you anymore. It's going to take time, especially, like I said, if you're having one of those hard times in life. It's not going to be easy, and you're not going to wake up and things are going to be completely different. It really takes consistent practice of being mindful of your thoughts, of your reactions, and of your actions for your attitude towards life to start to change. The sixth recommendation would be awareness. Learn how to be present and aware with your thoughts. When something doesn't go your way, your first thought shouldn't be, why does this always happen to me? Or why do bad things always happen to me? Or if someone treats you badly, don't say no one cares about me. Those are like asking for more bad to come into your life, because now you're just looking for it. Now you're expecting, now you're literally speaking it of nothing good ever happens or no one cares. When you say things like that and when you think like that, you automatically start looking for the bad within your life. You're not looking for the good at that point. And the key thing to stop feeling like a victim to life is to keep looking for the good and acknowledging the good, because good does happen and it does exist regardless of what's on the TV, of what's in the newspaper, of what's happening. There's always good that exists somewhere, and there's always a reason to smile. If you're watching this and you're breathing, you should be smiling, because it's not like that for everyone. Then would be to treat yourself. If you're making an active decision that you want your life to change, that you don't want to feel like a victim to life anymore, that you don't want to feel powerless or hopeless, that you know that there's more to life than what you're experiencing right now, you deserve a reward. Because a lot of times people will just stay in their comfort zone. They won't reach for more. And if you're making the active decision where you want to reach for more and you want more, and you're not going to feel guilty about that, you deserve to treat yourself. So with all of that being said, I could have made this video a lot longer, but this is just a quick introduction on how to stop feeling like a victim to life, because we're not a victim to our lives. We are way more powerful than the world wants us to believe, than society wants us to believe. Society wants us to feel like we're not powerful, that we're not strong, and that we can't create everything that we desire, but we can. It's just up to you to make the conscious decision and effort that you're willing to change yourself, your outlook, and really that's all you need for your life to start getting better, for your life to change. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.